Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're finally here to talk about that game this afternoon. It's been a wee bit of a wait, I know, it's late tonight, but I'm here. That's what matters. And Celtic have won. So, I can be positive for the first time in what feels like a long time. If you haven't, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I feel like I should just cut straight to the chase because I'm late. I'm very late. I didn't expect to be making the video at, what is this, 9:30 on Sunday night. I thought I'd be back earlier to do the video. Sadly, I wasn't. Why? Because sometimes you just need to celebrate a win of certain magnitudes. Will it mean a lot come the end of the season? We're yet to see that. But it's a huge win in regards to keeping up this sort of chase for the league title, because that's what we're doing now. We're chasing a league title. We were in control for a long time. Now we're chasing a league title. The script has changed for Celtic, and ultimately we need to keep winning games. We need to be perfect from now till the end of the season. And for a long time today, it seemed like Celtic were not going to be perfect from now till the end of the season. It seemed like we were going to get off to the worst possible start in that chase for the league title, but come the end, we managed to find those 3 points. So forgive me if I managed to go and have a couple of drinks. I got a ticket last minute for the game, and I decided, why not treat myself? It's not every day you see Celtic win in the last minute at Motherwell. Oh wait, we've done that already this season, haven't we? Okay, maybe it's not the first time, but you know, you still got to celebrate. We've got to talk about the game itself, all jokes aside, and we've got to talk about what the result means for Celtic today. It's one of those games that changed at the flick of a switch. The result at the end means so much compared to what it might have meant minutes before that final whistle went. We left it very late. Celtic with a 94th minute winner. They then went on further to score a 96th minute goal as well to make it 3-1 to Celtic at Fir Park this afternoon. But despite the result, despite the feelings of euphoria come the final whistle, it wasn't sunshine and lollipops for Celtic throughout that 90 minutes today. It was a hard fight. It was graft and it was ugly. To cut to the chase, it wasn't that performance we've been waiting on under Brendan Rodgers over the past few weeks. We've been begging, we've been praying that the system changes, the style changes, and that we get that performance. I keep saying that performance, you know what I mean. We want something to give us a bit of optimism to look at for the rest of the season. I still don't think that's exactly what we saw today, but there was signs of that. There was positives that point us in that direction. We just waited a long time for it today. First and second half for me, once again, like it has been all season, was two completely different matches and two completely different stories. I thought in the second half you were looking at a Celtic side who were far more optimistic in their attacking play, far braver in their attacking play, and it was more of what we should expect to see at Celtic through a game-to-game basis. But we had to wait for it. We had to be patient for it. Whereas, why are we not doing that throughout the season? Why are we not doing that even in the first half of this afternoon's performance? Today was such a high and low game, and mostly lows throughout that opening 45. And I don't understand why we need to put ourselves through that, because there is clearly the quality in the side to go and win these games and play better in these games, but we're just not doing it. But the evidence was there in front of your eyes in that second half. So, a lot to break down, a lot to try and understand. Let's go from start to finish if we possibly can. I don't even know where to start with the first half, because the first half was dreadful. And there's no other way to describe it. There was no element of the side in the first half that you can give credit to or give positives towards. We were really poor. Attacking wise, we offered nothing. Defensively, I thought we looked weak. There was no bravery in the side in the first half, and there was nothing to build off that gave me optimism for the second half. And then when you go 1-0 down right before the break, that's when everything starts to crumble beside you, and that's where you start to doubt that we could get anything. But leading up to that goal, we were susceptible to anything coming our way. Defensively, we looked so weak. And it was a matter of time before Motherwell found the first goal. We had, I think, one opportunity in that first half that looked somewhat convincing. And I think convincing is a stretch to describe that opportunity we had in the first half. We were embarrassing. We were really, really poor. And going forward, I thought that we just lacked so much quality that it made me question whether or not we were actually in the top two fighting for a league title. The wingers especially, Maida, he looked so far from the ability to be a starting left winger for Celtic. Kuhn looks lost in a Celtic shirt. I feel like we've been robbed by Rapid Vienna, if I'm telling the truth, at this moment in time. The fullbacks didn't help them on that side of the park. We were just offering absolutely nothing. It was the same old from what we've seen in Celtic in recent weeks. And I hate talking about the first half so negatively because at the end of the day, we've won the game. We've went out and we've won 3-1 this afternoon and we should be happy taking those 3 points up the road. But that first half was some of the poorest football I've seen of Celtic all season. And this is at a time where we have been begging and we have been asking for Celtic to improve and be better. And then it's that bad. It is concerning. There's no doubt about it. And I'll give credit to Brendan Rodgers. I'll give credit for the team for finding that rhythm in the second half that found goals, for that ability to lead us to a win. But the first half doesn't offer me a great amount of optimism for this last run in the season. It needs to be better than that. Especially when it just comes to... And this is such a vague point. This is something that we shouldn't have to think about as Celtic supporters, considering we've just won 2 in a row in the league and considering we won a treble last season. But the team seems so far off it when it comes to something as simple as bravery. Shiting out everything. Pardon my French. But we are. Every second ball and every 50-50 and everything that, shows that you're up for a game, we're pulling out of. So many players looked weak on that park in the first half, and that frustrates me. And do you know what that includes? As far as to the captain in the first half of the game today. And I'll give them the credit when it's due in the second half when we talk about it in a minute. But that opening 45 was, I want to say eye-opening, but it's not eye-opening when you consider the past performances, the last few games. We have not been up to standard, we've not been up to scratch. And we go in, when the half-time whistle blows, we go in feeling like, well, where's the quality going to come from? Where's this change going to come from? Because that evidence that we've seen there wasn't good enough, and I'm happy that they managed to find it in the second half, but that's not how you should be going to Fir Park and performing. That's not how you should be performing in any league game. At the end of the day, we're Celtic, we're champions, we are fighting for a league title, we should be outclassing our opponents. We barely had any convincing chances in that first half, and that is a concern. And I hope that the second half doesn't disguise all of that and doesn't mask it moving forward, because Dundee will be a struggle on Wednesday. Tynecastle will be a struggle. And I don't mean to sound overly negative. You know me, I try to be one of the more optimistic fans, especially when it comes to backing Brendan Rodgers, for example. But that first half was incredibly poor this afternoon. And I'm just glad we managed to address it in the second. Much better in the second half. And there's no two ways about it. I don't think we were perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not going to come out suddenly saying it is sunshine and lollipops, but we were better, and we showed that from the off. But it's mad to see that in front of your eyes, and it's mad to see what a wee bit of bravery and a wee bit of urgency in your forward play does for you. You know, when you start playing with that intensity and that eagerness to score goals, guess what? You scored goals, and we started the second half perfectly. Adamida's goal, it came from something that we weren't doing in the first half, and that was being courageous moving forward with the ball, sending in a high cross that's beating the first man. You know, these are we learn from the mistakes in the first half, but see, the problem is in the first half we keep doing it time and time again. Why does it take us so long to learn from these mistakes? I'm glad they did so early, because I think without that goal early in the second half, we would have been lost. We would have struggled. And God knows how the game would have ended. But the ball comes flying into IDAH's head, who was the half-time substitute. He finds the equaliser for Celtic. It's a huge goal. It's massive from Adamida. That's exactly why we've signed him, I suppose, because he offers a different quality from what Kyogo has. He offers those attributes that somebody like Kyogo, with his size, his stature, doesn't offer to Celtic. And don't get me wrong, you hang the ball in the air for Kyogo, if he's open, he'll stick his head in it and he will find you a goal. But when you're just looking for somebody who has that physical presence, who has that height, Adamida's your man. And that's why we've signed him. And I suppose when you look at goals like he's given us this afternoon, not once but twice, you understand why we have signed him. And he makes it all level. And Celtic are in control of the second half. Completely. Motherwell had that one chance. It was saved by Joe Hart. Aside from that, Celtic were in total control. And I think that we did take our foot off the gas a little bit from like the 60th to the 70th minute. And I don't think we played as well as maybe we started the half and ended the half. But ultimately, we played far, far better in the second. And we've seen a lot more of what this team should offer us from what they maybe have in the past few weeks. IDAH's winner is something that could potentially make or break our season. If we left Fir Park this afternoon without the 3 points, I think a lot of people would have been thinking this season is over, and maybe that would have spread to the changing room. I'm not saying that we've got a changing room full of losers, because that's not the case. That you've got players in there who've won multiple trophies with Celtic. Absolutely not am I saying that, but I think that 4 points would have been quite a tough lead to turn around. And that 3 points was vital. IDAH's winner is huge for Celtic this afternoon, but we deserved it. We did. And there's no two ways about it for me. I think in the second half we kept fighting and we deserved a goal. Maida missed some big chances, and I'm glad that IDAH was where he was to find that 94th minute winner. And as I said earlier with his first goal, that's exactly why we've signed him. It's clinical, the second goal from Adam IDAH, and we really needed that. We just looked a whole lot braver for me, and I'm glad that Brendan Rodgers did change it up in the second half, because if he didn't, we would have lost this afternoon. But what they showed us there, and we've not even spoke about Palmer's the third goal and Palmer's goal, but including that and including just that whole second half performance. Why are we not performing like that on a week-to-week basis at the minute? Because it shows you what happens when you put that urgency into the side. We are good enough. There's no two ways about it. We are more than good enough to win games week after week. And that's all you have to do. Pass forward, move with the ball, do something. And ultimately you're going to win games in this league. I feel like I've spoke for so long without saying nothing in regards to this game. And it's hard when it's been so far removed from the final whistle going. But I was really proud of what I seen from Celtic in the second half, and I don't think I'm saying that to over exaggerate how we played, because it still wasn't even close to what I expected of Celtic. But what it was something that was a vast improvement on what we've seen in recent weeks, and I'm proud of Celtic for that this afternoon. I'm happy with that. When we seen them come, I was there at Fir Park this afternoon, and when you see them come towards the crowd at full time, the passion that they showed. And the feeling in the away end at Fir Park this afternoon, you might have not been there. You might be still angry and disappointed of what you've seen of Celtic this afternoon if you watched on the TV. But all I felt in the stands was a sense of unity and a sense of, courage and motivation to try and spur those players on to fight for a league title. And if they can't channel that passion that they showed as they celebrated towards the away end this afternoon, there's no point. But if they can channel that, this title is still there for Celtic to win. And that's what they've got to use. They've got to use that passion that they showed at the full-time whistle this evening, or this afternoon. Because if they do, they can win this league. But the problem is, time after time, they've not showed that passion in the park. They've been lazy, they've been boring, they've been side to side, they've been lackadaisical. All of these buzzwords that I keep talking about, they are that time after time. But if they show what they've shown to the away support when they came over at full time today, they still can win this league title. I'm not saying they will win this league title, but they still can win this league title. And I hope that they can show that in their performances from now till the end of the season. We need to be perfect. We need to win every single game. And from being 1-0 down at half-time to go and win that game 3-1 this afternoon is a real testament to the players who were on the park. Adam IDAH changed that game for us this afternoon. There was boos when Tomoki Iwata went off the park, and rightfully so, because I thought he was Celtic's best player this afternoon. But the changes worked out for the best for Celtic. There is obviously a manager there who knows what he's doing. There is obviously players there who know what they're doing. Show us it week to week. Stop us from doubting you, and we can win this league title. It's as simple as that. Right, I'm going to wrap it up there. I still feel like there's so much in the game to dive into, but at least that's why I'm here tomorrow to talk about it. So when I have I'm not saying I'm drunk, because I've had a couple of drinks, but it's not It's not the level that I'd usually be after a game, especially a game where you win in the 90th minute. But that's why we're here tomorrow, to look at it with a clear mind and to talk about it all. So I'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk about it a bit more in depth. For now, that is my happy post-match reaction. We won the game at the end of the day, and I'm happy about that. But there's a lot of positives to talk about. There's still some negatives to talk about, and we'll get to it. If you haven't, please make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.